Good morning, folks. It happens to be the 21st of January 2018. What you're going to hear, you will not hear on any other channel. The news you're about to hear is shocking, and, well, frankly, it'll wake up a lot of people, although this audience is pretty doggone awake. I hear you get more news in 15 minutes than anywhere else on the planet. The FISA memo, guess who's going to jail? Yep, guess who's going to jail? There's the chart. Anyway, the story is coming to you because of Virtual Shield. We have that. We could not do this story without Virtual Shield. Absolutely impossible. And thank you to D365 and the seaweed pills from Get the Tea, which are now helping me lose weight and stay healthy. Years ago I got involved in this political mess with only one thought: fight battles for our veterans. So way back when I worked with Senator Patty Murray, probably 20 years ago, to get Agent Orange, Blue, White, and Purple recognized by the U.S. Supreme Court, they were listed in the Army Herbicide Manual in 1972 and could not be denied. They absolutely could not be denied. There they were in Training Manual 610, the Army Herbicide Manual, published in 1972. It could not be denied that we were using those agents, so I named them Agent Orange, White, Blue, and Purple, and the Supreme Court recognized them. In 2007, I got on my knees and asked God what I can do for him. That was in November 2006. Several weeks later, I found myself entangled in not only plots to kill presidents, but nuclear false flags meant to start full-scale nuclear wars. That means the destruction of planet Earth. The people we've been up against have not been, shall we say, very nice. Remember, their leaders are fallen angels who worship Lucifer and literally wish to destroy planet Earth. We soon took this fight to television and internet. Along the way, many people literally woke up. A lot of people woke up. People in British intelligence, Russian intelligence, Chinese intelligence, Bolivian intelligence people all around the world who were watching our TV program, confirming what we were saying, day after day after day, woke up. Fortunately for us, they're wide awake now. Eventually, YouTube allowed me to create a channel and to continue the fight here. We had a channel using America's Third Party because YouTube did not allow me to have a channel for years. Finally, we were allowed to have a channel. Now we have 5 video channels, 2 on YouTube and several others. We have had the assistance in stopping this insanity by people like Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. Many of the U.S. Russian intelligence services and the Chinese intelligence service, men like Benjamin Fulford and Will Wilson, and many more. It's coming out. Now it's coming out that a kid named Cain Gamble, right here, Cain Gamble not only penetrated the private emails of the CIA director under President Obama, and has also sent these private emails and texts to WikiLeaks of hundreds of people involved in this plot to destroy planet Earth. It's all being laid bare for everyone to see, from Hillary's insurance policy to the FBI director's plot to torch off a huge nuclear war across the planet. This, by the way, is touted as the insurance policy. This is what's in the FISA letter. It's on Sourcia and more. So it's all coming out. It's all being laid bare. Everyone's seeing it. Everything from those who killed President Kennedy to those who just tried to kill President Trump 4 January. And the plot to kill him 29 and 30 January. It's all being laid bare, the individuals responsible. Apparently, President Obama, number 4, felt pretty smug when he had busted the 2 American kids he thought were responsible for those leaks a year ago. Kids Wired magazine called the crackers with attitude. Yeah, they thought they had them busted. 2 little kids, well, they were 18 years old. Led by some of those white hats in the British intelligence agency, they used this kid, Cain Gamble, to expose everything and everyone and covered his tracks very well for years. With over 2 million documents in WikiLeaks, including private emails of the former CIA directors. It's all coming out. Remember what Luke said in the Bible? For there is nothing hidden that will not be revealed. Everything concealed will be brought to light. Keep in mind that this is not about not about taking out President Trump, but about cracking this planet in half, literally. We're fighting for our lives here, literally. And many in the intelligence community are coming to me and saying, we need to make a better world for our grandchildren. We screwed this one up and we need to fix it. One thing about these criminals, though, they always blame somebody else. Have you ever met a criminal that doesn't point their fingers to somebody else? And all of these people listed here, all of these people listed on Zero Hedge, all of these people from Michael Flynn to Robert Mueller, although Michael Flynn was working for Make America Great, to James Clapper, are all singing like canaries. So the people you see on this chart here on Sourcia are exposing everything in an attempt to save their own hides. From Peter Fritzen of Fusion GPS to Loretta Lynch, former U.S. Attorneys General. They are singing like canaries. They're all spilling the beans as they're confronted with their own text messages and their own private secure emails. If you go to the search engine Tor, T-O-R, all is accessible. Just look, it's called the dark web. So this particular article on Sourcia reveals the Hillary insurance policy and what is about to be revealed in this FISA letter and the other accompanying documents will shock you to the core. But many of you have followed me for the last 11 years, from the time I opened the embassy to now when we're on YouTube. An entire presidential administration bent on not only starting a nuclear war, but on destroying planet Earth. President Obama has been allowing the spraying of poisonous chemtrails to GMOs, from wars to outright murder. That's what the last few administrations have allowed. And they've all had a goal, follow their master Lucifer. Well, it's all being exposed. The truth is more interesting than fiction. Story, Judicial Watch. State Department may deal with Hillary Clinton to keep call logs scheduled secret. Fierce battle erupts over releasing intelligence report. After secret FISA memo exposed Obama spying on Trump, Dems desperately try to cover it up. DOJ has very bad news for Democratic Senator over corruption charges. He's going up for corruption again. Looks like Obama did spy on the Trump, as they just apparently did to me. It goes on and on and on and on and on. Representative Matt Gaetz on FISA corruption memo. Very foundations of our democracy at risk. Heck, they're just going to rout out the treasonous people. Showdown begins in budget office. You're supposed to watch that rather than this. Your eyes are supposed to be taken off of those guilty of treason. And in other news, and let me tell you, it's going to get really bad. The investigations began 1 January on the first full moon, and then at the end of the next full moon will be the last day in January, and we won't have a full moon in February. And then there'll be a full moon on the 1st of March and another full moon at the end of March. And at the end of that full moon, in come the trials. And in other news, many Republicans have gone home for the weekend. They looked at what Chucky Schumer did in his performance of these Democratic Nazis, and they think, if you want to lay off 850,000 people for no reason, we have a government of 24 million people, but if you want to lay off 850,000 people and make it impossible for them to pay rent, you know what? Let the world see that the Democrats and 4 Republicans have shut this government down. They refuse to pass a budget. These 4 Republicans and all the Democrats refuse to pass a federal budget, putting our troops at risk and destroying 850,000 lives. But you know what? I don't think Chucky Schumer gives a rat's rick. However, this is a distraction put forth by Serco to hide what's now really going on across the globe. The actions to those who are wishing to destroy planet Earth are being destroyed. And you'll know them. You're about to see who they are and what their actions were. And guess what? Japan had a fake missile alert in August, and they just had another fake missile alert on Tuesday. Their Japan public broadcaster NHK lied about nuclear missiles being fired at Japan. Unbelievable fakeness. So they're getting the Japanese people all riled up too. And in some hilarious news, former FBI Director James Comey will teach college course on ethical leadership. What kind of moronic parent would send their children to to the College of William and Mary in Washington, D.C., to have some nutcase like that, who wants this planet in rubble, to teach a course on ethics. Unbelievable. So you're going to send your child to learn about the lies of Lucifer. And the Supreme Court quietly gives liberty to a big win, and you can read about that. And finally, Pope Francis is now telling sexual abuse victims, those raped by priests and bishops of the Roman Catholic Church, they are committing slander by telling the truth. Speaking to a crowd of over 400,000 people in Santiago, he stated that Bishop Juan Burros was removed from the ministry for his crimes in Caradima, but not punished or excommunicated. Folks, there are wells around the world with 3,000 and 4,000 bodies of children dumped by the Catholic churches. There are a few very, very bad people in the Catholic Church. Apparently, a bishop cannot be thrown out of the church or excommunicated, but can be punished. Say, sent to the casino monastery for the rest of his life. Or he can't leave the monastery, but has to be at the monastery. Kind of a prison. Man, I'm telling you what, if this ever happened in the Russian Orthodox Church in Russia, the people have guts. They have gonads, unlike these other wimpy parents. Some little priest raped my child. I tell you what, he wouldn't be a boy very long. But if it happened in Russia, they'd stone him. There wouldn't be any question that people would gather around the church. He'd be gone. Because they have guts in Russia, not like these little wimps in Santiago, where they let some bishop rape their child and then took no action against the bishop themselves. You've dishonored your children. Anyway, ho-hum, we're not even going to discuss this, but women's marches across the nation, these women's riots are not what they were in the 60s. No bra burnings, no streakers, no cop cars burned, no arrests of these terrorists. No fun at all. You know what, women's marches, George Soros? We're not impressed. You're going down. The King of Kings and Lord of Lords has had enough of all of your garbage. He's now going to put an end to it. A personal note to President Putin on Epiphany, the 12th day of Christmas. President Putin invoked the power of Christ. But, a personal note, the power of Christ can only be invoked by the Duke of St. Petersburg, according to the writings of the Masons and the writings within your own church. Your invocation of the power of Christ on Epiphany will fall on deaf ears. So he said it, so it shall be. This is exactly what King Solomon did. He tried to invoke the power of God himself in 931 BC, and look what happened to him. You have knowingly dishonored God by doing this vain act. I ask you now to make amends, or God must then act. God bless to each and every one of you. Pray for President Trump's safety as he drains this swamp and gets rid of these nutcases. I'm telling you what, they fill the halls of Congress. So please pray for President Trump's safety, and for those who stand in his way will fall to the wayside. So God has said it, so it shall be. You are the difference, and we need your prayers to stay on the air. God bless to each and every one of you. Our main story, there it is. It's all unwinding. Who they are, what they've done, their emails, their private emails for the last decade and a half are now being exposed. Unbelievable. God bless to each and every one of you. Thank you for watching. You are the coolest audience. You are my friends and my neighbors. And it's going to come out. All of these people, everything they have done is going to be exposed. And no power from Lucifer can stop the exposure of the editors of New York Times, the New Yorker, Yahoo News, CNN, BuzzFeed, the Washington Post. The list goes on. You can do whatever you want. But it's all going to come out now, thanks to him and dozens of other people in British military intelligence. God bless, thank you, and good night.